Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Another day, another comparison, and we're going to be talking about none other than the Samsung Galaxy S20, and we're going to be comparing it to the, younger brother or older brother for that matter, which is the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. Now, what's funny is that there's actually a lot of similarities between these phones, and even though, one is definitely bigger than the other one, and more so the S20 is probably the successor to the S9 more than it is the S9 Plus, there's still some key differences, and I think there's more similarities between the S9 Plus and the S20 than there probably is between the S20 and the S9, to be honest. And even the first thing, starting off with the price tag, this is probably one of the biggest differences and one of the reasons why most people probably even want to see a comparison, because the Samsung Galaxy S20 is the newest Samsung phone. It's a $1,000 flagship. On Amazon, they're still selling for $1,000, and I'm sure in a couple months it'll probably go down in that certified refurbished round, so it'll probably go down to like 700-ish maybe, and then by like July timeframe, probably, who knows. Whereas on the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, when it came out first, I think it was like $849 or $899 when it first came out, maybe $949, I don't really remember, but it was up there. It was very, very expensive when it first came out, but right now on Amazon, you can pick one up for about $350, which is a pretty good price tag to pay for a phone like this. Like, it's a very capable phone for the most part. They're both technically on the same exact software version, which is really, really nice, and one doesn't really blow the other one out of the water for me in terms of the, just everything overall. Of course, the S20 is the better phone. If you have all the money in the world, go for that phone. But like I've said before, it's not necessarily between these two phones that you have to choose from. I think a really good middle ground between both these phones is the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus, and that sits right in between both of these phones. What I can tell you is that the Galaxy S10 Plus is only a little bit more expensive than the S9 Plus on Amazon. I think they're selling for still like less than $500. So I'll go ahead and link all those in the description below, so you can get them from Amazon and help support the channel at the same time, so you can buy them straight from there. But looking on the front of both phones, the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus has a 6.2-inch Super AMOLED display. It's a 1440p panel, and like I've said before, the screen on Samsung phones are really good ever since even like the Galaxy S6, if I'm being honest. All these phones have had really good panels. There's nothing on the S9 Plus that screams to me that's like a bad panel or, ugly panel or anything like that. There is a little bit of bezel on the top and bottom, which is probably one of the bigger, differences between the S9 Plus and the S20. There's a lack of bezel on the S20, whereas on the S9 Plus, it has a little bit, but even then, it's not a big deal. Like, it's not even that much bezel at all. The screen is still very nice, and really, it's still a very capable phone when it comes down to the panel. I just really wish Samsung worked on their wallpapers. For some reason, their wallpapers look so weird, and it makes the phone screen look so bad, but once you put a better wallpaper on, it looks much better. Whereas on the Samsung Galaxy S20, it has the same size 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED display. That one is also a 1440p display, and it's also a very, very good panel, much better than the S9 Plus. And I say much better, but it just looks much better visibly because of the lack of bezel, but I think the panel itself is about the same on both. There's a hole punch display in the center on the S20, whereas on the S9 Plus, we have that bezel around, and between both, I don't really think one blows the other one out of the water in terms of the way they look, but there is a key difference between both of them, and that's the fact that the Samsung Galaxy S20 has the capability of having 120Hz refresh rate on that panel, which is really, really cool. Not a lot of phones have that capability, and the fact that the Samsung Galaxy S20 has that is really cool. Like, not a lot of Samsung phones have that, but not a lot of phones have that in general, and that's a really cool feature. And the fact that Samsung put it on this phone means that a lot of other phones that are going to be coming out this year are probably going to have those features built in too, which is going to be really, really awesome. So that's one really cool thing for sure. In terms of the front, the Samsung Galaxy S20 wins for sure. On the bottom, USB Type-C ports on both. The Galaxy S9 Plus does have a headphone jack, which is really, really nice. On the back, glass backs on both, and both phones feel pretty premium in the hand. We have a triple camera setup on the S20, where we have a dual camera setup on the S9 Plus. We do have that fingerprint sensor underneath the cameras on the S9 Plus, where on the S20 it's built into the display. And when you're feeling both phones in the hand, you're kind of running through them. They both feel almost identical. One doesn't really blow the other one out of the water, like I've stated before. They both feel pretty much the same. It's just the S20 might have the better glass. Like, it just feels maybe a little bit better overall, a little bit. But even then, like, they both feel very the same. Glass on the front, glass on the back, very good build quality. One doesn't blow the other one out of the water. They both have micro SD card slots as well, which is really, really cool. So you can expand that storage on both phones, which is really nice. And both phones do have IP certification, so you can go up to 1.5 meters of water for 30 minutes on both phones. So you have that capability on both phones, which is really, really nice. And in terms of the outside, that really pretty much covers it. Like I said, one doesn't blow the other one out of the water, but the Samsung Galaxy S20 is definitely the better looking and better built one for sure. Now moving on to the software side of things, they're both on One UI 2, which is really nice. The Samsung Galaxy S20, as you know, is just getting started with software updates. It's starting on One UI 2. It's probably going to get One UI 3 and then One UI 4, and it's probably going to stop at One UI 4. I don't know, maybe it'll go further, I don't know. But as of right now, it's stopping on One UI 4 as far as the information I know. Whereas on the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, we started off with Android Oreo. We got Android Pie with One UI, which is really nice, and now we're on One UI 2 on Android 10. And I don't really think it's going to go further. They had the opportunity to make the Galaxy S8 go further one more version, and they really didn't want to, which was so dumb. So with the Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus, I really don't know if it's going to get another software version or not. If I wanted to say so, I would. I would agree. Like, I wanted to go further, but I really don't think so. Samsung's going to pull this weird stuff, and they're going to try to make their phones last even less than they usually want to. So hopefully they last it longer. If not, then it is what it is. But definitely for sure, the Samsung Galaxy S20 is going to outlast the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus for sure when it comes down to software updates. Now moving on to the performance side of things, the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 chipset, an octa-core CPU, an Adreno 630 GPU, and there were a couple of different models of the S9 Plus, a 64, 128, and 256 gig models, and all those models had 6 gigabytes of RAM, where the Samsung Galaxy S20 has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 chipset, an octa-core CPU, an Adreno 650 GPU, and there's only one model of the S20 with 12 gigabytes of RAM, and that's the 128 gig option. And between performance on both, what I can tell you is first of all, with the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, it's a pretty decent performing phone even now in 2020. One thing that I really do like is that with One UI 2, it made the animation seem a little bit smoother and a little bit more consistent overall. What I mean by that is when you open an app or whatever, it kind of makes it come to the screen in a more smoother fashion, which is something I really like. Before, one thing I saw is that it would always be glitchy, and just like if I clicked on an app, it would just glitch all over the place, but this made it seem a little bit more smoother, and it's still not perfect. There's still some glitchiness going on, but it makes the experience a little bit better. And my favorite thing is that with that little gesture-based design, with especially with the One UI 2 devices, that makes the experience so much better, and something I really do like. So whenever you swipe up or whatever, you have that capability of just getting out of the app, getting into the app, whatever. Whereas on some other Android phones, you don't have that capability. So the S9 Plus performance is still pretty good. I do like the additions of One UI 2 that makes the overall, usability of the phone that much better. Whereas on the Galaxy S20, you guys already know, it's the newest phone. It's extremely fast. It's probably one of the fastest phones I've ever used. It's faster than my S9 Plus. It's faster than my S10 Plus, than my S10, than my 11 Pro. Like, it's one of the fastest phones in the market. But again, like I've said before, Samsung phones have a weird way of depreciating over time, and with the S20, it could probably get much slower, much faster than a lot of the competition, including maybe OnePlus phones and even including the iPhones. So longevity-wise, I think the iPhones will probably do better, but as of right now, the Galaxy S20 is definitely the faster phone between these ones for sure. So that pretty much covers it up in the performance standpoint. Now hitting on the cameras, like I said, the S9 Plus has a dual camera setup, a 12 megapixel wide-angle lens, and then a 12 megapixel telephoto lens, where the Samsung Galaxy S20 has a 12 megapixel wide-angle lens, a 64 megapixel telephoto lens, and then an additional 12 megapixel ultra-wide sensor. And between both, what I can tell you is the cameras on both phones are pretty good, first of all, but the S20 definitely has the better camera sensor for sure. Both can shoot 4K 60 frames, which is really nice, but the S20 has the capability of shooting 8K videos, which is something that not a lot of phones have the capability of doing, and I don't even think of any phone that can do it. There's probably one that I'm missing out on, but you have that capability, and even now, like I've stated before, the possibility of you using 8K is probably not high. You're probably not even going to use it, but the capability of having it is super impressive, and the fact that if you have it or not, it's going to future-proof you for a little bit longer. So that's one thing for sure that the S20 has going for it. The S9 Plus's camera is still pretty good though. On the front, 10 megapixel sensor on the S20, 8 megapixel sensor on the S9 Plus. You can do 4K 60 on the front camera of the S20, where you cannot do that on the S9 Plus. So for sure, the S20 has the much better camera. Now ending it off with the battery life, the Galaxy S9 Plus has a 3500 mAh battery. The Samsung Galaxy S20 has a 4000 mAh battery. In between both, like I've stated, I'm pretty sure the Samsung Galaxy S20 is going to give you the better battery life. However, one thing I will say is that if you have that 120Hz refresh rate on that display on the S20 enabled, most likely you are going to find yourself having better battery life on the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus over the Samsung Galaxy S20. Not a crazy feature, but you also have the ability to do reverse wireless charging on the S20 where you don't have that on the S9 Plus. So I'll probably give the edge to the Samsung Galaxy S20 just for having more battery features at the end of the day than the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. Now, to kind of sum up the video and to answer the question, should you pick up a Samsung Galaxy S20? Should you save your money and get a Galaxy S9 Plus? What I'll tell you is that if you have the S9 Plus currently, I would recommend you keeping it until the S20 prices go down even more, because those prices are going to go down much faster than you might think, and you might be able to snag one up for like half the price like 6 months down the line. So if you can use your S9 Plus for a little bit longer, I would recommend you keeping that until the S20 prices go down. However, like I stated before, if you have all the money in the world, go pick up a Galaxy S20. But if you want that middle ground, the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus is probably the best way to go. It's much cheaper than the S20. It's like half the cost of it on Amazon, and it's only like $100 to $150 more expensive than the Galaxy S9 Plus. So I would recommend getting that one over both of these phones, to be honest, because that phone is still super capable, probably one of the best phones still, and you can pick it up really, really cheap on Amazon right now. So if you want to pick up either of these phones, like I stated before, links will be down in the description, but that pretty much covers it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, all those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate if you guys check it out. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.